Hey guys, so a lot of you guys think that doing more work, doing more volume is going to directly lead to more outputs. I'm going to do more DMs. I'm going to post more content. The thing is, you guys are operating in an unleveraged system. It's like your car's broken, the transmission's broken, for example, and you're putting more gas in the system thinking that's going to result in the car going faster. Okay? So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my entire school SOP, market SOP. I'm giving everything away today. I'm going to give you everything you need in order to get to your first and second 10K month and then potentially 20K a month from there. So tune in, it's gonna be a great video. Let's jump into it. Okay, so right now in the fitness space, what I've pretty much figured out is thousands of fitness coaches, thousands of gym owners, personal trainers, most business owners, especially in the fitness space, always seem to kind of hit a plateau around the 10K a month mark. I did it myself. It happens to most people. Okay. The thing is, the caveat is these people are working like massive amount of hours. They're doing tons of volume. They're doing 60-hour work weeks, taking no days off, spending all of their time and effort just to maintain 10K a month while trying to figure out, how to break through this plateau. They think, oh, I'm just going to do more volume. I'm going to work harder, thinking that inputting more volume will solve all these problems. Oh, if I'm working 60 hours a week, why not just do 80 hours a week? Then I'll be making 15K a month. Okay. But this is actually how I thought. And it's really not going to work. A lot of other mentors and people out there will say, oh, if you want to get to 10K a month, you have to send more DMs. Or if you're posting once a day, just post twice a day, man. Just post twice a day. Right? Just do more volume. Okay? I hate to break it to you, but these people who are telling you this are just simply wrong. And I'm going to tell you from my personal experience in the actual fitness coaching space specifically, and me being a fitness coach, why this is wrong. Okay? So too many people have been influenced by, the work harder content, I'm just going to keep grinding, to the point that they disregard the system generating their outputs and purely focus on inputting more, hoping it will work just by sheer volume. Okay? Truth is, putting a larger volume of input into a broken system will only result in a larger loss of input. It's like having a car that's broken down. Like the transmission is totally messed up. And you think, oh, I'm just going to put more gasoline in and it's just going to make the car go faster. It's not gonna change the root cause. Okay. So because without realizing you've enslaved yourself to a glorified 9 to 5, so where your outputs rely on inputting a huge volume of work just to maintain current results, you're enslaved to the cash wheel. Okay. You have to do the DMs, you have to do the content. People say, one of my clients, I talk about her all the time. Before she came to me, she's like, oh, Ashton, 2 days of the week I post, like all day is spent creating Instagram reels. Thursday and Friday are purely spent creating Instagram reels. I'm like, really? Like you, and what if you don't? She's like, oh, well, I won't hit 10K a month next month. Really? So you have to spend 2 days just creating Instagram reels to stay at the same place you were before. Does that sound like scaling? Does that sound like you're actually going to get there? No. Okay. So the common idea that more volume is wrong, etc. Okay, so not only is the system unsustainable, but it's also unscalable because you are capped by the number of hours that you specifically have in a day. Rather than focusing solely on the input, which is important, you also need to focus on the system that you're inputting into. You only have 24 hours in a day. Me personally, okay, you may think, oh, if you're making 50K a month, you have to be working 16 hours a day. Dude, I just went on a 2-month vacation. Like that. I just went on a 2-month vacation. I'm not saying this as like a rub it in your face, but I just went on a 2-month vacation. I worked. Yes, I did work. But I probably worked 2 hours a day, maybe. Sometimes I didn't work, right? But I was still able to have a very, very good month. Almost a record month, actually. Okay? So you need to build momentum where the amounts of time you spend working becomes less and less relevant to the success of the business. You need a snowball compounding effect of efforts to succeed. Everyone has heard the quote before, work on the business, not in the business. Time and time again, I just see this being more and more true, okay? If you aren't creating systems that detach your time inputted from the business's success, you're not running a business, you're working a job that you've placed yourself into, okay? You ask people, oh, why do you want to be a fitness coach? Why do you want to own your own business? Oh, I want freedom. Freedom? Really? You're working 16 hours a day and you're probably making less than a lot of people who have 9 to 5s. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow. Okay. And we both know that you didn't start a business to grind, these 18 hours a day until you're 60 just to stay in the same spot month after month. Inflation comes around, 10% this year. Now you're at a net negative. Okay? Month to month, year to year. The purpose of this training, pretty much, is to show you, is to break down how to scale your online fitness business for the long-term vision without burning out, without spending 18 hours a day sending cold DMs, without posting reels 10 times a day, or any other of these, gimmicky sort of like, hey, just do this one thing and you'll make 10K a month. Like I absolutely despise to make 10K a month, but I'm doing this. I'm telling you how to do it because I hit a hard plateau around that time too. And a lot of people do as well. Okay. Like for example, stuck at this 7K a month, 8K, 10K a month mark for the longest time. I was pissed off because I was working hard to being able to shoot up to pretty much 50K a month. Okay. Within 1 month. Okay. So let's jump into it. So pretty much the first thing is you have to create a long-term vision, okay? Number one, you need to create a vision. Without a vision, you have nothing, okay? To break through this plateau, for example, and hit your desired targets, you firstly have to properly understand your targets. Imagine going to a gun range and having no target, but just shooting the gun and expecting just something to happen. So a lot of you guys are doing, okay? Too many coaches, too many personal trainers are working for goals they set for no specific reason. Society simply embedded into their heads that a certain amount of per month is cool and it should be their goal. Okay? When I booked a call one-to-one with Tai Lopez, one of the things he asked me is he's like, Ashton, why do what's your goal? I'm like, I want to hit, this was a while ago, I'm like, I want to hit 100K a month. He's like, cool. Well, why do you want to hit 100K a month? I'm like, well, that's just kind of the next step. That's just what I want to do. And he's like, well, why is that what you want to do? Is that because, society thinks or friends or people think you need to hit 100K a month, right? So you have to ask yourself, like, why actually, this is probably sounding corny as hell, but like, actually, why do you want to get to this next phase? Why do you want to jump to this next phase? Why is this your target? Is this something that you just feel because other people are telling you? Or like society says, oh, 10K a month, 10K a month. Like, what is your goal? Okay. If you don't have a rock solid target to hit and a clear understanding and purpose of why you want to achieve it, you simply won't. Okay. So you have to think of this as well. Okay. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay. You have psychological safety, loving needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. Okay. Pretty much when you start out, okay, and you are working out of a place of scarcity within your business, okay, you are going to need money. You need to move because you're going to go poor. You have no money. You have to get things going. You have to bootstrap, okay? But operating out of that state is not good long-term, okay? You have to operate out of an esteem or a self-actualization or some sort of like deeper meaning or deeper root cause than just, a number. Like what is a number? What is 10K a month? Like, think about this. You're making money. People send you pixels on a screen and you look at the number in your bank account and you're like, oh, cool. Now I have $100,000 in my bank account, or I have $50,000 in my bank account. Oh my God. And then you feel good. And it's just a number on a screen. Okay. You have to think of a reason deeper and keep that in the front of your mind. Okay. Remember that get rich quick schemes do not exist. If you want to actualize the vision you have for yourself and your business, then you have to understand that you're going to have to optimize for everything, for excellence and mastery, so that long term you can scale and achieve this growth. Okay? 100%. 100%. When I first started, I thought that I was going to do fitness coaching as like a side hustle. I'm going to start a TikTok page and just side hustle my way to like 10K a month while just like balancing a bunch of other shit. It's like, no. Then when I got into it, I'm like, fuck no, I have to commit to this. Okay? So this probably sounds corny as hell, all of the shit that I went through, okay, about setting targets and stuff. But this is probably the most important thing that I'm going to go through today. Okay? This is very important. Okay? And it potentially could be more important than the actual, acquisition systems or stuff that we're going to go through shortly here too. Okay? So that's number one. Okay? Cool. So now we're going to talk about acquisition systems. Okay. Now that we have the corny stuff out of the way, the fun stuff out of the way, we're going to jump into acquisition systems. Okay. So pretty much all in all, we have to try our best to make sure we're building our house on rock, not sand. Okay? So a lot of people are just doing acquisition systems that, number one, don't work, and number one, don't have proper foundations that they actually really understand. They're just like, oh, this guy told me to send DMs, I'm going to send DMs. Or this guy told me to run ads, I'm going to run ads. Or this guy told me to post content, I'm going to post content. Okay? So you have to realize, okay, what is our goal? How do we reverse engineer that? Okay? So we have to build these foundations to allow us to scale to virtually anything. Okay? And the first thing with acquisition, the first thing that we have to look at is our goal, yes, but how do we get leverage in getting to that goal? Okay? Because the thing is, 60-hour work weeks, sending DMs, all of this stuff works. Okay? Paid ads work, content works, all this stuff works. But which is more leveraged? What can we put less effort into, less hours, less work, less money, and get more revenue generated, more output from our input? Okay? And the thing is, like, they all work. It's just, how do we get the most leveraged system to work for us so that I can do an hour of work a day, 2 hours of work a day on this one task, but be able to make $50K a month? Okay? So this is the biggest thing in terms of acquisition, in terms of scaling, in terms of, okay, how do we get to the next level? It's by pretty much reverse engineering a lever, okay? A lever that is potentially a couple mechanisms where we can put less effort but achieve a higher load. This is just basic physics. Physics applies to business. It's the exact same thing, okay? So how do we reverse engineer this, okay? Naval Ravikant, quote, he's quoting Archimedes, okay? He said, give me a lever long enough and a place to stand and I will move the earth. What does he mean by this? A lever long enough, okay, to achieve a greater input to output ratio, okay? Without these foundations set in place, the acquisition systems you build on top will not be leveraged. It is an A leads to B equation, okay? Acquisition is merely the flame you put on top of the gasoline you've already spread, okay? So you have to make sure, number one, you understand what leverage is, okay? And if you're, right now, if you're watching this and you're like, okay, I want you to just take a notepad out. Be like, okay, I work this many hours, I make this much money, okay? And think to yourself, if I 2x my hours inputted, will my output 2x? If the answer to that is yes, then your input to output ratio is 1-to-1. And that means you're not leveraged at all. If you 2x the input, but you 5x the output, or 10x the output, maybe you have a leverage system here. Okay, but a lot of cold DMs, a lot of stuff is not really that leveraged. And this is a big pill that I had to swallow as well. Okay? So that's number one. You have to understand what that is. Number two is about your market. Okay? A lot of coaches are very broad when it comes to niche selection. Okay? They don't want to miss out on a larger number of potential prospects by narrowing down. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna do something more specific because then what if someone reaches out to me who's outside of that niche and I have to say no, or I'm gonna have less people to service. This is kind of a wrong way of thinking. Okay? This is complete backwards. Okay? Because when you're going into a big market, you're competing against massive sharks, competing against whales. Okay? If you're going into a smaller market, you have less pie to fight for. Okay? So you do have a competitive advantage. And there's also other benefits. Okay? So someone only turns into a customer when they resonate with your messaging. However, if your messaging is targeting everyone as well, it's another benefit. It actually targets no one enough to matter. Okay? If you go to a train station and you yell out very loud, hey, everyone, some people may look and they're just going to keep walking because they think you're crazy. But if you go to the same train station and you yell, hey, Michael, hey, John, maybe there's 3 Michaels there. They're going to be like, what? Did you just call my name? All right? So the same principle, psychology, just directly applies to this. Okay? People want to feel understood. They want someone who's been through what they're going through and have a proven solution. If you're trying to get anyone and everyone, you will get no one. It is simple as that. So you have to specialize. Okay? So a lot of people I see, they reach out, a lot of the times solutions can be specifically solved by being leveraged in a small market. Like a lot of the times people reach out to me like, dude, get leveraged and be in a small market. Like, find a market within a market within a market. What I mean by that is the fitness market. Okay, within fitness, I'm going to help elderly people. I don't know, and then I'm going to help elderly people who are dealing with back pain. Okay, you've narrowed it down by 3 layers. Okay, and that third layer is a lot tighter of a market than the fitness market. Oh, I'm just a fitness person that helps anyone achieve anything with fitness stuff. Okay, so when you become specialized, you pretty much work with only one client archetype, okay, who have similar starting goals, similar starting points and goals. So let's say it's this elderly people with back pain, okay? And now what you can do as well with your back end is, because there's one process for these goals, okay? You can validate one process a lot easier, and this process can become replicable, okay? Replicable. It's very straightforward. If you have someone like one person here, I want to lose weight, I want to gain muscle, I want to get help with my back pain, I want to get help with my, I want to look better. Like, all these goals, you're gonna have to make different processes for them. Very time consuming, very unleveraged. If you have one person, one client archetype, one goal, you can run one system and validate that system. Same, it's the Bruce Lee quote: one kick 10,000 times versus 10,000 kicks one time. Okay? I've made multiple videos on market selection, offer creation in the past, so I'm not going to go super in depth here. But the main concept is, by specializing, you're able to achieve market resonance, okay? Easier sales, lower cost per lead, because you're talking to these people. You have a decreased workload, more leverage as well, okay? You have one process. Get consistent low entropy data. Low entropy is low, like there's not a lot of chaos in the system. It's unchaotic, okay? Because there's one process that you're running with each client. So you're able to validate this process quite easily. And you have the ability to charge high ticket for one validated process, okay? There's actually this Alex Hormozi video in $100 million offers, and he talks about the different offers based on your different level of niching. And one of the things he talks about a lot is, if you're a landscaper, let's say you charge $100 to sell a landscaping course, okay? What if you sell a landscaping sales course? You can charge $200 for that. What if it's a landscaping sales course for high schoolers? You can charge $400 for that. So the more specialized you can go, you can charge higher ticket, because it is more specialized from a psychology level. Oh, this guy is so specialized, he knows exactly what I need. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, because you have more data, because you've been running one system rather than 10,000 systems, like several times. Okay? So this is the main thing. This is a large part of leverage. Large part of you getting leverage is being in the right market and being specialized in that market. Okay? The next portion of getting and achieving leverage is about your offer and your unique mechanism. Okay? To further uncommoditize yourself and gain more leverage, the first thing you must make sure is that your offer is differentiated from the rest of your selected market. Okay? Without differentiation, you inevitably will fall into what I call the commodity trap. I already said that throughout the video, but the commodity trap is when you're offering, like, what is a commodity? A commodity is something that is the same as what other people are selling, and the only other thing you compete on is now price. Okay? So if you're in the stage right now where you are offering your solution, but it's the same as everyone else, how are you going to compete other than price? You just have to price lower than other people to stay competitive. Okay? And then you fall into the commodity trap. Okay? Where you have a commoditized offer, okay? And you're pretty much selling based on price. So people aren't buying because they actually like your shit. They're buying because, it's a lower price, okay? You're probably going to have a lower closing rate because you're only solving one obstacle, doing it just like everyone else, okay? You have low leverage because you're getting less money from this because you're staying competitive. So you can't afford to spend money to improve your system. These people, because they're spending low money, they have bad results because they're not emotionally invested, okay? And when these people aren't emotionally invested, they're not going to stay. They're not going to actually get you results that you can funnel back into case studies, and they're not going to stay. They're going to churn, okay? And you can't afford to take this money and go and use that on ads, or go and use that on upgrading your media setup. Okay? So this is a very tricky thing that a lot of fitness coaches fall into that totally ruins them. Okay? So instead, to differentiate yourself in the market, you must have a unique offer to the marketplace. Something niched that is unique, built off of unique insights. So, for example, Nate Belmar got insane success with his community, Anime Shreds, due to the fact that he's leveraging an audience with unique insights. He's currently making like 150 roughly K a month. Okay, this is his school. Okay, he's leveraging a unique insight, a unique offer. Okay, what is a unique insight? A unique insight is something that you know to be true that other people don't. Okay, I was on a sales call this morning. The guy's like, "Oh, here's my school community. Here's what I'm thinking of doing." He was showing me the modules. I'm like, "Dude, you really think people are going to go and buy from you and spend $3,000 with you because you're showing them how to count calories?" Like, think about this for a second. Think about how many other people know what counting calories are. This is not new information. Okay? At the end of the day, fitness coaching is a level of you selling information. Okay? And if this information is commoditized and the same as everyone else, it's nothing new. It's nothing that I want to buy. Okay? Or other people want to buy. And pretty much Nate didn't have anything new. He simply went out and gathered unconventional truths and unique insights that hadn't been brought to the marketplace. Okay? He's talking about shit in China. He's bringing stuff from the Asian market, remedies, potions, he calls them, health remedies that are from China, Asia, whatever, bringing them over and to the West and pretty much selling this stuff. Okay? And by leveraging these unconventional truths, you're able to differentiate yourself and be in the medium in which people are able to see fitness in a completely different lens. So the last thing you want to do is frame yourself as, oh, I'm just a fitness coach that's going to help you lose weight and I'm going to do calorie counting and give you a plan. It's like, it's not different. The market is the same. The unique insights are the same. The offer is the same. You're going to be quickly forced into this. Okay? So it's hard for me to say, like, hey, if you want a different result, you're going to have to do different things, but it's the truth. Like, you have to do different stuff. You have to have data on new things that other people are not doing. Okay? Cool. So leveraging an audience and unique insights equals success. Okay? New is always wanted in the market, and innovation is one thing that will never go out of style. I always tell this to my clients. You need to do new things. Okay? Cool. Another key element of creating your offer is going to be charging high ticket for your validated process. Okay? Because you're so specialized, because your offer is unique, now you're able to consistently get people who jump on calls with you and be like, hey, this is unique. This is directly to me. I'm willing to pay you 10K for this. Like, it actually boggles my mind. People are fitness coaches and they're selling commoditized information and commoditized processes. And they're like, okay, the most I can charge is like $500. Okay. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I look at my other clients or people that are working with me, and these people are charging $10,000 for a fitness program. Okay. At the end of the day, is the fitness program that different? Not really, but it's built off of unique insights and it's so niched. Okay. It's so niched. So you're able to justify that. Okay. Cool. So that's market, that's offer. I hope this kind of all makes sense up until this point. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is fulfillment and operations. Okay. Naval Ravikant often talks about median code. So if you don't know who Naval is, he's a venture capitalist. I believe he worked early in several different startups in kind of like the tech social media boom. He's a billionaire, crazy different insights. He's big on Twitter as well. I would definitely go look at some of his tweets. So if you have Twitter or whatever, look at some of his stuff because he's been pretty crucial, I would say, pretty pivotal in terms of the stuff that I've learned from him specifically. But he pretty much talks about median code. Okay. He says the fortunes of wealth creation is in accessing permissionless leverage multiplied by unique insights equals a money-making machine. Okay. Permissionless leverage. Okay. Accessing permissionless leverage. Okay. Where you can gain so much leverage. The input to output ratio is none to a lot. Okay. And run this so hard with a unique insight as your base or several unique insights, it becomes a money making machine. Okay? Code and media are permissionless leverage. They're the leverage behind the newly rich. You can create software and media that works for you while you sleep. Okay? So, too many people are focusing on making money rather than building a money making machine. If we leverage media and code to automate most of our operations and fulfillment, we're able to stop spending time on low leverage, repetitive, and overall useless activities as the founder. Okay? You need to focus every ounce of energy into the highest leverage activities as the founder, as you have the most insights and talent. Okay? Highest leverage activities. Okay? Fulfillment and operations, you need to be focusing on high leverage activities and using media and code. Okay? Therefore, our next focus is going to be automating these internal systems along with everything else that's taking time, money, and effort from us that we need to be putting into higher leverage systems. The systems and internal processes that we'll be automating through media and code are the following, and we'll briefly go through each one after. Okay? Number one is nurturing and educating prospects. Number two is booking appointments. And number three is onboarding and client education. Okay? So how do we take, if we're able to solve for nurturing, where we can get people who book sales calls with us that are educated, know what we do, how we do it, why we do it, are bought into the process, they book calls permissionlessly being leveraged, and then we onboard them and they get success. How does this happen? If we're able to solve for these three, you're able to easily make 100, 200K a month, or at least 50K a month, or at least 70K a month. Okay? So, one of my clients who are doing 6 figures a month, these are the main bottlenecks that they didn't have before coming on with me. And it's the same things that we're solving for. Okay? So, number one, let's talk about nurturing and educating prospects. Okay? So, nurturing and educating your prospects is hyper important, as it's exactly where the power of school comes in. Okay? So, I talk about school quite a bit. The reason I like school so much and the reason why I like community so much is the amount of education that you can do. Okay? Steve Jobs said this as well. This is a quote. The best form of marketing is education. The best form of marketing is education. Okay? So how do we pre-sell people even harder? Because let's be real. You're not going to send someone a DM and say, hey, ask them a couple questions, do sales tactics, and jump on a call and close them for 5 to 10K. Maybe you can do that for $500, sure. But they're not educated. Think about a car, for example, that you're thinking of buying, a BMW M8 or a Porsche 911, okay? You are educated probably about that decision multiple months in advance. You've been thinking about this car for a while. Maybe it's your dream car, okay? You're very educated, and you went and converted, okay? And think about if you go on, the advertisements or even the websites of these car companies, they're trying to educate you about the specs. Oh, 0 to 60 in this time. Okay? Same principles apply. So how do we, and this is why I've been using school, because it's such a great education platform where you can, yes, there's a community element, but you're able to educate people nonetheless. Okay? So nurturing and educating your prospects is very, very important. Okay? You have to, pretty much what I've been doing with my clients, this is the process that I run and I install, is pretty much positioning the school as a free community. It pretty much acts as the initial offer to get people interested. Once they're inside, they get pushed through educational content where they become solution aware. Okay? So, all in all, we have school. Okay? We push people to school. Okay? If this is through ads, if this is through content, if this is through several other things that we're going to talk about. Okay? We give them a low risk entry. It's totally free. No money. Okay? People come in. They get educated on your unique mechanism for that specific target. You may say, oh, well, these people are going to take it seriously. They're not going to take it seriously if it's a generalized, ununique insight, basic process that is the same as everyone else. If it's specialized, number one, and niche down, okay, and the offer is uncommoditized, and it's not the same as everyone else, unique insights, etc., that people are going to take it seriously, even though it is free. I've figured this out. This is taking me a long time to figure out because I'm like, oh, I've launched this in the past with clients, and I'm like, oh, why aren't people taking this seriously? It's like, okay, let's go back to the basics here. Let's go back to the foundations. What makes someone interested in the first place? Okay, are we doing these things? No. Okay, then why don't we try this out? Try it out. Boom. More sales. Like literally, a couple of my clients, 2 to 3x their sales in like a couple of weeks just by making small changes. Okay, or you could say big changes. Okay, pretty much free education. Okay, pretty much allowing people to have trust, allowing people to have reciprocity with us because we're giving them free things. I give you something, you're obliged to want to give me something back. It's just human nature. Okay, and then you're differentiating. You're not through your unique insights and telling people what you do and educating them. You are taking yourself out of competition, putting yourself in a blue ocean market. You're no longer doing this this dance competing with all these other people. You're simply telling people your uniqueness, and you have no competition. If you're so niched and you're solving for a different problem, okay, with unique insights, you no longer have, this massive fitness market competition that you may have had before. And what happens is you have shorter sales cycles, okay, because people book calls and they're like, hey dude, I'm educated. Let's rock and roll. Okay? Less objections. Less I want to think about it. I want to think about it. Oh my God. And then you go, the worst thing is, I want to think about it. And then you go online and you look up, how to deal with the I want to think about it objection. And then you go and you try to sell your way through it when that's not the root cause. Okay? You pretty much have, next, higher cash collected. People are going to, they're not going to give you a hard time. Do you go to Porsche and say, hey, can I do half, or can I do $500 instead of $1,500? No. Okay. And you have a higher closing percent. So when I was doing, I guess, an uncommoditized process, I was doing 12 sales calls a day for a long time, was trying to get better at sales, even though I'm very good at sales, but I do think that sales is a very low leverage activity. Okay. Do you think Jeff Bezos had to sell? Do you think Elon Musk had to sell? Hey, yeah, sure, it's marketing in another way. Sure, you could say it's salesmanship, but you think you have to deal with that I want to think about it objection? Okay? All of these high leverage guys, these whales in the space, think about someone who's really big in the online space. Do you think this person has to deal with these sort of objections on a day-to-day basis? Think about this for a second. Okay? Probably not, because their prospects are so educated and nurtured. Okay? So this is one of the most important things when it comes to actual acquisition and gaining leverage is educated. Because, for example, 12 hours a day, making 7 to 10K a month. 12 sales calls a day, making 7 to 10K a month. Pretty bad leverage. Okay? 2 hours a day, making 50K a month. Okay. What's the difference? A large part of my difference was education. Okay? Very important. Okay, let's come back down. Cool. So productizing these nurturing and educating systems allows you to detach time from the equation and simply funnel everyone into the specific education path via school. Okay? You can push so many people into school. You can run ads. This is what I do exactly with my prospects. I run ads to their school for that specific market. Okay? And simply funnel everyone into the specific education path hundreds of times without requiring any additional time spent on your end. Okay? Cool. Number 2 is booking appointments. Okay? So for booking appointments, we'll simply be pushing them through a VSL on the school homepage. This will allow us to get a certain amount of booked appointments simply from hundreds of people going through the sales asset we created once. So same with Nate Belmar. Okay? You go to his school, you click on it. Before joining, there's a VSL right there that sells them. Okay? Yes, his process is paid. I do it mostly with the free thing, but with the free, you are pre-selling them on watching and getting educated, not on the full entire system. Okay? And from there, so booking appointments, the process is school, getting them in, getting them educated, selling them on being educated, which they are through the market. Okay. There's appointment bookings. Okay. There's through school, and there's also through setting appointments, which is still a very key portion of it, because people aren't sure. There's going to be people who come into your school and just book appointments, but these people, a lot of the times, got to give them a call, got to rub them a little bit, make them feel good. Okay. And then get them booked into an appointment. Okay. And this is what I've been doing, placing setters as well on top of this with a lot of my clients, booking appointments. And pretty much from there, just mitigating no-shows, doing all of that fun stuff. But the biggest thing is, okay, yeah, this stuff is important, but how do we increase education? Okay. So always remember, so for this, the VSL is very important. Okay. So I placed a VSL on the front of my school, okay, with all my clients. And it's the first thing that they see, and it sets the precedence. It sets the sales agenda. It sets what they're going to expect, how they're going to expect it. Okay. So always remember, the goal of the VSL is to demonstrate your clear understanding of their specific problems and reveal your unique mechanism as a solution for these problems. Okay. The main reason why people no-show isn't because you didn't set the right automations or say the right words. It's because they don't actually believe your solution will work for them. Okay. If you had a meeting booked with, let's say, someone who's very high status, Elon Musk or Donald Trump, or I don't know, whatever. Let's say it was 2 weeks from now. You would be thinking for the next 2 weeks of that appointment, and you would make sure that you would never miss that appointment. Okay? Because you have so much trust and that person is so high status. Okay? Same thing, Alex Hormozi. If you had an appointment with him one-to-one, you'd be like, okay, I'm not missing that appointment. This guy's so smart. He knows what he's doing. Okay? So the main reason, and people say, I hate when people do this. Oh, I gotta add more automations. I gotta add more drip sequences, more email drips, more SMS campaign stuff. It's like, you really have to settle. Like, I've never personally booked a call from someone through an email list, or not through an email list, through an email drip campaign or an SMS drip campaign. I've never done that. I've watched someone, gotten educated, maybe followed them for a while, a couple months, really understood their mechanism, how they think, etc., and then made the decision after being at that heightened state of my education where it's like, okay, I need the next step now. The free stuff is not working for me anymore. And that's how I've bought from all of the people that I've worked for. If it's just consulting for my business, even people that have helped me like health-wise, like when I've had fitness coaches that I've hired fitness coaches for competitions that I've done for bodybuilding. It's the same thing. Okay. So the main reason why people no-show is due to doubts of the effectiveness of the solution in general and doubts of the perceived likelihood of achieving their dream outcome using your process. Okay. Focus on eliminating these doubts in the VSL. Okay. Therefore, the importance of selecting a specific section of the market to tailor your product to and center your offer around these pains and desires. Okay. Everyone's seen Hormozi's value equation. Always remember to include these levers when writing VSLs. So what is value? People say, oh, I'm going to give free value. Okay. Value is a dream outcome multiplied by a perceived likelihood of achievement. So how likely they are to get that goal, divided by a time delay, how long it's going to take to get that goal, by the effort and sacrifice needed to attain that goal. Okay. So if you are going through and they're like, shit, this guy, he's talking about all this stuff, but I don't really think that this is going to work for me. He doesn't have proof of concept, or his education, it just doesn't seem like this will work. It's lowering your value. Okay. Oh, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. Lowering your value. Okay. So same thing for your VSL. We have like a full VSL SOP. If you are watching this here and you comment specifically regarding the VSL SOP and send me that comment, I will back end, not through the main thing. I will send you the VSL SOP that I have for this. So if you're watching this and you're in this section here, this 40-ish minute section, then I will send that to you, but you have to send a specific comment to get that. Okay. So the VSL is very important. It sets the precedence. Okay. But remember, people try to, yes, do a lot of things when it comes to, okay, scripting for my appointment setting. Yes, it's important. Or Calendly automations. Okay. That stuff it's important. It's important. But think, The people you've bought from, the people who I've bought from, the people who most people have bought from. Are you buying a car that you know nothing about, a random car brand, or are you going to go from an established brand that you've been educated about for the past several years? Think about this and make sure you understand this. Okay? Cool. So now let's talk about onboarding and client education. Okay. So for onboarding and client education, so I talked about this before in the presentation, but just want to make sure this is drilled into your mind. Okay? By selecting a specific portion of the market, okay, we're able to ditch the constant need of creating new systems and processes for new clients who all have different goals, starting points, etc. Okay? We now have the ability to create one process and simply attract the clients who want to implement said solution. This is the same thing with onboarding and same thing with the back end. Okay? This means that your workload will decrease significantly, and two, you'll be able to validate your processes as mentioned earlier. Okay? So Bruce Lee quote, one kick 10,000 times. Even like if you're helping one person, let's say one specific person, like let's go with the same thing that I said before about the elderly people with back pain. If you do that one process with that one client archetype 100 times, 500 times, the 100th time, you're going to be top 1%, 0.1% of the market in terms of solving that solution. Okay? Think about a doctor who does one sort of surgery, a surgeon who does one sort of surgery. He's done that one surgery for the past 10 years. That's why he's getting paid probably $1 million, $2 million a year. Okay? You get rewarded for the amount of value you provide. And that is so, and scarcity around that, because not a lot of people can replicate that. Okay? And be so specialized within that. It literally just takes your offer and makes it more scarce, which increases the value. Okay? There's less people offering it. On the specialized scale, value goes up, okay? So having a validated process will also allow you to charge high ticket, which means lower workload and more revenue. You no longer need to create new processes. You simply refine the existing ones over time with feedback, okay? So same thing. When you're focusing on any one market, dads who want to lose weight, teens who want to gain muscle, moms who want to get skinnier, okay? You're creating new processes for each new client and their goals. Okay, so one person, you have all of this data from each person, and it's a very high workload. Okay, people, oh my God, some of these fitness coaches, you're probably watching this. If maybe you're watching this and you're already making 5 to 10K a month, you probably have to do a decent amount of fulfillment, changing plans. Even if it's not a lot of work, mentally, it takes up a lot of capital. I've used to do that. I never want to do that again. Never want to do that again. Okay. Just the mental capital behind it. It's not something that I think, like ask yourself, will I get to 100K a month with this process? Okay. If the answer to that is no, you won't get to 100K a month with that process, then how do you expect, then what's the point of even doing it now? If it's the same process that's going to get to 100K a month, you should be doing that right now. Okay. You should be training in the gym like you are wanting to be a IFBB pro. If you go train with IFBB pros and you train like an IFBB pro, really hard, eat right, locked in, you're probably going to slowly trickle up and look and resemble that person, that archetype, that characteristics, the look of the lifestyle that you are following. Okay? Cool. And lower workload. You want to work less and fulfill better, okay? So once you set up your foundations for your market, your offer, etc., and automate a large portion of your internal operations, now it's time to run people through your process to get feedback, okay? Feedback from clients is going to be the lifeblood of your business. Highlighted, okay? And it's what'll allow you to generate uncommoditized insights from your section of the market that no one can find online, okay? So the thing is, okay, you have unique insights right now that are probably surface level insights. Maybe they're not surface level, but they're not crazy deep. And you ask yourself, okay, how do I get more insights? Okay. And the answer is you have to work with more people. You have to test things, see what works, see what doesn't. Okay. And from this data that you're collecting from doing one system for one sort of client, okay, you are now able to get a lot of data, get a lot more unique insights, and you slowly, it just becomes exponential in terms of how you can help that specific person. Okay? With this feedback, you're able to refine and optimize your processes, but most importantly, these unique insights will be what allows us to go to the forefront of the marketplace as Nate Belmar did and leverage them with your audience to scale insanely quickly. Okay? So you have your input, inputting into a process, and getting output. You have to keep track of this data, these outputs. I have a sheet that I have all of, I need to have a finger on all of my clients. I need to have all of my clients' data. Why? Because I need unique insights. I need these things so that if someone else comes to me in the future, if you book a call with me right now, or one of my team members, or one of my person, or whatever, jumps on a call with you, they're going to tell you, they're going to say, hey, listen, if you want to join this process, we've done this process for, you're thinking of getting into the helping middle-aged dads. I have probably 20 clients doing that niche. I know what works. I'm not probably going to need to test on the same level than, for example, other people. Why? Because I have data around unique insights, place you in a market, place you with unique insights, go run, quickly scale. That's why I'm able to take people from 0 to 10, 15K a month in a matter of a couple months. Okay? Cool. So yeah, you have your input, you get clients, and you get your output from those clients. So you need to work with people. You need to get people to work with. Okay? People who actually follow your process and get data from that. Because the more times you run this, it's just gaining unique insights, little HP points, little HP. And then you can funnel these unique insights to making your clients more successful, but also in your organic content or your educational stuff or your ads or your DMs or whatever acquisition system that you do, that you can funnel to that market for getting more people. So this process is cyclical. It's a cycle. And it all starts with the market. It all starts with unique insights. This is the lifeblood of leverage. Okay? In my personal opinion. Maybe you're like, oh, okay? Cool. So I hope this makes sense. But if you're watching this right now, you have a couple clients. Maybe you're doing low ticket, maybe you're doing high ticket. It doesn't matter. Okay? You need to be tracking. If you're not tracking, how are you going to improve? If you're not tracking your reps in the gym, how are you going to know if you're getting stronger? How are you going to know if you're putting on muscle? You're going to just track by looking at yourself in the mirror once a week? Is that really what you want to do? Maybe for some people, maybe for me. Okay. Cool. So now we're going to talk about audience and attention generation. So once you build your foundations and automated a large portion of your internal operations and fulfillment mechanisms, you'll have a lot more time on your hands, most likely. Okay. However, this extra time should not be spent going back into this broken system, sending DMs for 3 hours a day, posting 30 times a week, etc. Okay. For example, when I first started out, I also fell into the flawed norm of working hard and disregarding the system. Okay. I used to grind every spare second I had, posting on my TikTok. My original thesis was to consistently post once a day on TikTok. So I did this for a long time. Got some clients through this. You may 3,900 followers, but I actually put a lot of effort into this. And this was this was before as well. Had a few videos that kind of blew up. You see 1.7, a couple 100K, whatever. But did this for a while. Don't try to find it. It's private. But did this for a long time. And I literally forced myself to post. Continually posted, trying to get people, to pay me money for programming or whatever. Had no idea of kind of what I was doing. Just continually posted, especially when I didn't feel like it, because if I knew I had the discipline with the gym, that the discipline would directly translate to my business. Oh, I just got to keep working harder, more volume. I was dead wrong. I vividly remember sitting at my desk and going through my phone. I was checking how many videos I posted and looked at some of the ones that went viral. I felt good in the moment. I'm like, wow, I'm so cool. One of my videos went to 1.7 million. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so cool. Okay. Then I asked myself, how much have I made from this in the past 6 months of posting? How much have I made? Okay. I looked at my bank account. I'm like, holy fuck. I've basically made no money from this. How the fuck am I going to get to 10K a month? Am I just going to keep doing this forever? Okay. Honestly, we live in an age right now where you can do things quickly. This is not the 1950s. This is not the early 2000s. With social media, the whole concept of delayed gratification is very flawed. Yes, for the gym, you need delayed gratification. Yes. For business, yes, you do need it still. But there becomes a point where you're doing things for a period of time and you're looking at other people who are doing things on a more leveraged scale, and they don't really need this level of delayed gratification because they're tracking, they know what works, and they follow a process, and they're able to get quick results that funnel exponentially. Okay? So this entire culture of delayed gratification, it's a good thing. All in all, it's a good thing. But we live in a very quick, speedy area. Things move fast. Things move quick. Okay? If you're able to put a hook in that speed, you're able to ride that wave. Okay? So what I didn't realize then, and what you need to realize now, is that once you get this extra time, like I said, you cannot go back to putting your time into the old flawed system. Every millisecond of extra time needs to be used extremely mindfully only on high leverage activities, revenue generating activities that'll actually allow you to scale long term without shackling yourself to a system where you become a slave to the cash machine. Okay? The highest form of leverage that we have in today's age is attention. We live in an attention economy. Okay? By leveraging eyeballs, attention, people have been able to hyper scale their business extremely quickly. Okay? So a good example of this, of someone who scaled hyper quickly due to an existing audience, is Conor McGregor. Okay? I know he has this lawsuit going on with all these allegations or whatever, but I'm just going to use it for the business sake. Okay? So Conor McGregor, okay? He pretty much owns a percentage of Proper 12. I think he owns a majority stake. Okay. Launched in 2018, sold a majority stake in 2021. Okay. Ownership duration 3 years, sale value 600 million. Okay. 150 million from leveraging his audience with the UFC and Instagram and building his attention generating brand. Okay. So other examples of this would be like The Rock. Okay. Just an actor, just a UFC fighter, or sorry, a WWE fighter, making good money, making a couple million, but he wasn't a billionaire. Now he's a billionaire because he has Terramana and he leveraged his audience around that to scale. Same with Kim K. Okay. Oh, I'm just going to post. I'm going to promote a couple brands, make a couple $1 million a year. Launch Skims, also a billionaire. Okay. Mr. Beast. Okay. Sure. His YouTube channel, his asset of his YouTube channel is worth probably a couple $1 billion, but Feastables and the chocolate bars and stuff like this brand is worth a lot of money. Same with KSI, same with Logan Paul. They focused on attention and monetizing that attention through different things. Okay, so it all starts though with the attention that they focused on. Conor McGregor just stayed as a UFC fighter and didn't focus on generating attention through his Instagram, through social media. Okay, if he launched this, probably wouldn't have been, a $600 million sale. Okay, so all these people successfully scaled brands to multiple 9 figures within an extremely short time because they successfully leveraged attention. Okay. So what I do and what I mainly do with my clients is I try to leverage attention through paid ads. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why you should probably be running paid ads to leverage attention, and posting organically. Yes, it's great. Excuse me. Leveraging attention, yes, it's absolutely amazing. It's great. This is an organic video as well. I'm going to sneeze again. But for paid ads, the scaling from this is one of the most highest leverage activities. Okay? So in my opinion, I am, and pretty much with all the companies I worked for in the past, I work with a couple like pharmaceutical brands as well. I work with fitness coaches, yes, but I also do several other things within the health and fitness space that's based around marketing. Okay, so this is my business, fitness coaches, etc. But a lot of my business and revenue that I generate as well is from working with other brands and pretty much managing their marketing. Okay, so paid ads, and this is my attention. I spend over 6 figures a month on ads. One of the highest leverage and most consistent methods of generating and leveraging attention we've seen with fitness creators, in my opinion. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so specifically on the Meta platform, where advertising on Facebook and Instagram has become insanely accurate, especially over the last few years with recent AI developments and all of this stuff with AI, it's become so accurate because they now own data of $1.4 trillion of it. Okay? So you look at this, you're like, oh my God, Meta's worth $1.45 trillion. Okay? What is this? Okay? If you go and look up, for example, McDonald's market cap, okay, $207 billion. This is based off of real estate because McDonald's owns the real estate that all of the land sit on and revenue from the restaurants. Okay? But like the assets, if you look at the balance sheet of McDonald's, the assets are mainly land and the building value. Okay? But if you look at this, Facebook, what is $1.45 trillion? Like, what is that? What is the assets of that? Like, what is it? Do some digging. You'll find out that this is the valuation of the data they own of the 2 billion people that are on that platform. Okay? So the goal with paid ads is to leverage capital to buy impressions and eyeballs on your offer. Okay? So 4 levers of business: code, content, capital, collaboration, labor. You need to be leveraging code and content with ads and just tapping into the data pool. Just they already have the data sitting for you to use. Just buy it. Just spend money and use that data for your offer. Get eyeballs around that. Oh, so when people say, for example, if people say, oh, I'm sending cold DMs or I'm sending DMs, they're basically saying that they would rather go find their own data and send DMs to that data rather than going to Meta, which has $1.45 trillion worth of data that they've been collecting for 20 years, and go use that data. They would rather make their own data. There's a reason why even like what's like an email software company, for example, MailChimp market cap, $12 billion. Okay? Why is MailChimp worth $12 billion, but Meta is worth $1.45 trillion? Because with MailChimp, you have to input the data and then send the emails. Okay? With Meta, you don't have to input any data. They own the data, and you just put the messaging behind that. This is why I love ads. Okay? So while capital isn't the highest leverage with Meta, we're able to make huge returns. Okay? And basically kickstart a consistent and predictable lead inflow system. Okay? It still remains as an insanely leveraged way to consistently book appointments, get leads, sales, etc., especially among other traffic sources such as cold DMs. I don't think right now, yes, a lot of people are running ads, but right now a lot of people are not running ads. There's a lot of competition that can be just jumped over, just hurdled over by just getting good with ads. Obviously, keeping in mind all of the other stuff we went through today. Okay? So, to create successful ads, how do you do it? Just going to give you a basic SOP right here. You have to make a front-end offer that's free. Like I said with the school, push people from your ads to the school. Get them results where they'll be able to see the quality of your programs. Okay? When you finally make your ask, they've already gotten results. They're already educated. They already trust you. They've already gone through all of these different programs for free, and they feel indebted to you. Therefore, a yes is much more likely. Okay? If you hypothetically educate someone, you are taking them from a point of uneducation to education. You're bringing them from X to Y. You are holding their hand and taking them down a path from uneducated to educated. When you take someone from unenlightened to enlightened, they now have reciprocity. They trust you. Okay? They associate that change with you, that delta of change with you. Okay? The only downside to Meta that is it's still linked to an input, which is dollars. Okay? Even though it's great for scaling and getting leads, we also want to be building systems that are completely detached from any input. And once you put that initial effort, it brings returns forever. Okay? We want to build this type of system where success is inevitable and exponential. Therefore, why we are building an audience and paying to leverage attention on Meta. Okay? So, for example, paid ads, very linear. Okay? They're very leveraged and they're more short-term focused. Yes, long-term you can scale a budget, but you're forever going to be attached to that input of dollar that you put in. Okay? So it's a very consistent way. It's very consistent, it's very predictable, it's very trackable. You can see all your data metrics. Okay? With organic, it's very exponential, it's very leveraged. But the downfall is you got to wait a long time. You got to put work in for a really long time and have delayed gratification, which it's like, hey, pick one. Why pick one? Just do both. That's my opinion. It's like, okay, I do organic and not paid ads because organic's way better. It's like, okay, well, why not just do both? Huh? Why not? Okay? They both have their purpose, and it's not an A or B situation. Both are going to help you achieve the targets you set to achieve. Okay? So this is why I implement both of these, because at the start, if someone is starting from scratch, yes, I'm going to get them to do organic, but they also have to do paid ads. Okay? Because I want to guarantee you success long term and short term. Okay? Why sacrifice one for the other? Okay? Cool. So, number 2 is leveraging attention through organic content. Okay? So, Mr. Beast is the best example of how one initial effort of producing a sales asset on an organic growth channel like YouTube can continue to bring results, sales, leads, etc., years after launching it. Okay? So, for example, Mr. Beast, 2 years ago, Squid Game in real life. This video, 668 million views. This video right here has more views probably than several movies that are in like the movie theater, for example. Way more. And he probably made from this one video maybe a couple $1 million, maybe 8 figures. I don't even know. Like, that's something that I should probably look into. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is how this initial effort of producing the sales asset, okay, can bring results years after years. Okay? Sam Evans said this on a podcast about 2 years ago before he launched school. He said, I do believe YouTube organic is the best place to scale right now. Okay? And the reason is with Instagram, for example, you post a video, that video will get views for a couple days, and then it's done. YouTube, they feed you forever if it's a good video, it's a quality platform. Okay? All of these assets will work for him and will generate sales while he sleeps almost forever. Okay? Not sleep forever, but they will produce results forever. Okay? All off the first initial effort of producing each asset. With organic, every single asset you upload will work for you forever. Your efforts stack, you can grow your audience exponentially, and this is why growing on YouTube is important in 2024 and 2025. This is why I have gone very hard on my YouTube channel. I put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel, and I've gotten a great amount of results from my YouTube. I probably get around 50 to 50. I get 50% through ads, 50% through YouTube, but it wasn't always like that. I followed the same process. Like, I got all my clients through ads probably up until about 6-7 months ago. Then YouTube's kicking in, and it's just slowly becoming more exponential. Okay? So, yeah. So you need to be building as an online creator. The creator wave is only getting more competitive, and today is the least competitive it will ever be from now. I can guarantee you that. Okay? And YouTube is the best place for education specifically. And this is not entertainment content. Don't get this confused between entertainment content. This is education content. When you go to a Home Depot and you buy a drill, you don't expect that drill or that hammer to entertain you. You expect it to provide a purpose, provide clarity, solve an issue. Okay? So that's what I focus on with YouTube with my clients. Okay? So Chamath Palihapitiya, big name, okay? Call him Chamath P. Early founder in Facebook, several other venture capitalist stuff as well. You can say similar to Naval Ravikant in that sense, but he talks a lot about the importance of focusing on the content creator side of things because that's where the puck is going. Okay, I'm not a big I'm not going to shit talk like Instagram or stuff like this, but I do think that the right way to do it is through YouTube and Instagram kind of combined together. I'm going to tell you my strategy that I've been following with my coaches that have allowed them to, scale to, multiple 100,000 followers online, across kind of fitness coaching in general, etc., and kind of the strategy that I tell my coaches of what to post and how to post and etc. Okay, and it's the same thing that we talked about before. Okay, it's about leveraging unique insights, right? Leveraging unique insights with your content will allow people to understand the view you have on the marketplace and allows them to look at fitness through a completely different lens. Nate Belmar, the content he produces is all unique insights. All unique insights, okay? So same thing with your school. This repeated topic keeps coming up, okay? Unique insights are in short demand. Everyone does what's easy. Very few innovate and very few improve. 99% of the market simply offers common commoditized knowledge, Okay. And when you post and focus your organic content around unique insights rather than common knowledge, you're going to be getting a lot more buyers. A lot more buyers. Chamath talks about this as well. On a podcast, he talked about when you focus on spreading unique insights, you get and attract buyers. Okay? You gain these unique insights, as mentioned before, from the feedback you get by pushing people through your process, getting clients, fulfilling clients, going through the process and getting an output, and gaining unique insights that you can now funnel back into this. Okay? So, all in all, you get new clients who go through your mechanism. Okay? You get feedback. You create, you garner a unique insight. You leverage this unique insight with your audience, and that brings in new clients. Okay? And these unique insights directly go to ads as well. So this is not just specifically organic. Yes, it's organic, but also directly translated to ads. Okay? So almost nobody is doing long form content because it is difficult. Okay? You can't film a 50-minute video. You can't fill a 50-minute video, 45-minute video, hour video with fluff. You need to know what you're talking about. If you're watching here with me, like I'm sure you probably are like, okay, Ashton, you're maybe a little bit, you're maybe a little bit cool. you know a little bit about what you're talking about. Okay? This makes long form content a high entry barrier activity, which obviously means less competition. Okay? It's pretty basic. Okay? In order to make a Quentin Tarantino, I probably butchered that. Okay? Film, that takes a lot of effort. Okay? 5 minutes in, if you don't like it, people can walk out. It's a long piece of content. Okay? That means it has to be filled with value. It has to be filled with unique insights. Okay? It's a high entry barrier activity. And you can't look at that as a bad thing. You have to look at that as I'm going to get better so that I can outcompete these people. Okay? In order to succeed, you have to go where 99% of others will not go. Same thing. This doesn't necessarily mean working harder or longer hours, but doing different actions to receive different outcomes. Focus on creating mastery and excellence and avoid what's easy for the masses to produce. If it's easy, leave it for someone else. It's the same thing applied to content. Okay? Do only shit you can do. Okay? Organic content is exponential, but it has to be unique and uncomparable. Mr. Beast's main hypothesis, shared in a leaked production document he had created, was that he wanted to do things that only they could do. So there was this leaked kind of template of he gives to his employees that work with him, sort of thing. And he just created, it's like a 40-page, 50-page document that just says like, hey, this is kind of how we're rolling, how our business works, how we're making videos. And this is one of the things that he talks about. Okay? It's impossible for people to, it's very difficult to compete with Mr. Beast when he has a budget of $5 million to produce a video. Squid Game video, like that's a massive production crew. That's a massive setup. Okay? He wanted to create content that only they had the ability to create, thus uncommoditizing his content to the point where he cannot really be compared with anyone else on the platform. Okay? This one principle constituted a huge portion of the results of the reason for success on YouTube and should be used as a guideline for yourself. Do the things no one else can do. Give away insane value and knowledge that no one else can or is willing to give for free. Okay? So this is the end of the video. Okay? Just to do one more thing that you should definitely listen to if you made it to the end of this video. Okay? I want to just make sure that you understand that everything here is focused on, number one, having a market that's specialized. You're no longer competing because you're in a separate market. And number two, you are creating an SOP and a system to gain and garner unique insights. If you can do these two things, especially the second over time in that market, that just becomes exponential. Because these unique insights are more valuable a lot of the times than you having knowledge of how to run ads. Like I said, AI's out. It's not hard to run ads, okay? But it's hard to find these unique insights. Not a lot of people will have them. It's the hardest thing to do, to innovate. It's the highest barrier of entry thing to do, innovate. So if you're able to innovate on information, then you're able to recycle this information into ads. into content, into short form as well. Okay. But it changes the game, and it changed the game for me and brought me from 10 to 50K a month in like 2 months. Like it was crazy. But it did take me a little bit of time. It did take me effort. I'm not discrediting that, but it changed the game for me. Okay? So, all in all, if you watch this far and the concepts we went over make sense, you pretty much have two options. Stay where you're stuck, running in the same place, working 60-hour weeks only to plateau below on your goals forever, or implement what I've covered in this training, break through 10K a month, hit your target goals, etc. Okay? What I can guarantee you here is if you watch this video, you gained knowledge, you gained information, you gained unique insights. Okay? I can guarantee you that if you don't take action on this knowledge, then the last hour and 10 minutes that you spent with me will be pointless and you will not achieve any growth. Okay? So thank you for watching. I'm going to drop a link below for my offer that I'm pretty much launching right now, where you can book a call with myself or my team. I jump on some of the calls. Some of my team jumps on some of the calls. So you can chat with me. I can show you how we'll implement this potentially in your business if you're a fitness coach or if you're a health coach of some sort, or if you're just a coach in general or pretty much within that kind of fitness niche. I will show you how we'll implement this within your business because it is case to case. Okay. This is, yes, very replicable. It's the same process for a lot of my coaches, but how it would show you and how it would position this for your specific brand and yourself. Okay. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.